Hello and welcome to Andy's Shed Live. This is series 16, episode number 15 for Sunday the 10th of November 2024. Hello there everybody, welcome back to the show. Once again on YouTube only this week, I'm afraid. Yeah. Saving a bit of the old cash there. From not having to go through Restream and that. Hopefully it might even run a bit faster and a bit smoother, being that it's not been effectively streamed out twice. As you will notice, we've not got the chat on the screen again, but there is the chat available there on your YouTube screen. It is there, and one or two people are already in it tonight, I believe. Just having a look who's here. Wesley's here, says hi Andy, hi all. Christopher's here, Dominic's here, and Neville's here as well. So hello to everybody there who's in the old YouTube chat there tonight. Right. Just get himself organised. It's caught me out this half hour earlier thing. But yeah, it has caught me out a little bit. We're on half an hour earlier, as you've noticed. We're just experimenting with that for a few weeks. Being it's dark nights now, basically we thought we could probably start half an hour earlier and sort of get it rolling that little bit earlier than we have been doing in the past. Not a massive amount has been happening here this week. It's all been happening at the PVR radio station studio this week. We've been moving stuff about because stuff has kind of congregated there. Some stuff that probably shouldn't really be there has congregated there. So I've been shifting stuff about over the last couple of days, including moving a player piano on my own, which was not easy, let me tell you. But we've kind of got it where we want it now. So yeah, we'll be doing an update from there very, very soon. Might even do one of these live shows from there in the next few weeks or so. So watch out for that. As always, we have a forum when we're not on air where you can get in touch with us and share your telephone related projects and that you're doing. It's here, it's gpotelephones.proboards.com, and of course if you want to get in touch with us, we've got a website with a contact us form on it, and that is here, andyshed.corepress.net. Right, so what has been happening? Well, I've been 3D printing, as you can see, from the leftover bits of print and stuff. Does anybody know what I can do with the leftover bits of plastic from when I've been 3D printing? Because you get lots of this sort of failed prints and little bits that is of support and things. And if anybody's got any ideas what I can do with that, please do get in touch and let me know, because I've got tons of it. You can get a thing what they call a filler extruder, I believe, where you can melt it down and turn it back into filament, but they're out of stock of them, and the alternative ones are either not very good or very expensive. So I'm told, kind of in that order. So I've been wondering what to do with all this 3D print type stuff and odds and ends and bits and pieces, and I've got 2 pots full of it now, and some more besides as well. So yeah, I have got quite a bit of it. Tonight, the continuing saga of the Plesiphone. If you were watching last week, let's get it. You may remember this. This is a Plessy phone, supplied to telephone rentals, as you can see from the thing on the back there. Basically it was a thing, I've not quite worked out in the history of it whether it was made by Plessy or made by Ericsson, because sort of one took over the other sort of thing. So they call it a Plessy phone, but it's like got Ericsson part numbers and things on it. But whichever way you throw it, it is actually a British phone, even though it doesn't look like it. And we had a look inside it last week and found it was not great on the inside. It hasn't got a induction coil for a start, so it's not the highest quality telephone instrument in the world ever. But we thought we'd try and get it going. We thought we'd try and get it operational. So I've got it here. Bear with me 1 second. Just got to move a few things here. So I can do stuff. Right. So there's the phone, and the problem is at the moment with it that it's not got anything on the end of here. So we kind of need to try and put something on the end of here. Now the problem with putting something on the end of here is, you can see it in that camera better, it's a round cord. Here that I'm dealing with, and it's probably going to be quite awkward, and it appears that somebody has bound it with cotton or something. Don't know quite what's gone on there. It appears that somebody's bound it up somehow, so let's see if I can get something to pick that apart. I don't really want to cut the end of this if I can help it. Because it is an original cord for one of these, I think. Although not particularly for a brown one, so what I'm doing is I'm just trying to unpick it with a very tiny screwdriver. Just trying to unwind this. So, what's everybody been up to since last week? What have you all been on with? Christopher says, did you see the photo of the N1900 phone setup? I have, Christopher, I have seen it. Yeah. Right, I think I managed to unpick that. Dominic, this is a very interesting find, he says. Yeah, I've seen them before as well, you know, Dominic. I'm sure I've seen these before and passed them by. As we were saying last week, sorry that sorry I'm late, says Bills. Don't worry about it, Bills. You weren't to know we've actually started half an hour earlier, just to confuse you. So, yeah, we're actually on a bit earlier. Right, I think I'll unpick the end of this. It's got the same weird little spade connector things that fit onto a circuit board, like the other end of the cord has in the back of the phone, that actually goes straight onto a circuit board in the back of the phone. So what I'm not really quite sure how to connect this up really without damaging this cord. I don't really want to damage this cord. So if anybody's got any ideas on how I can connect these little spade connectory sort of things, and this is what they are, if anybody's got any idea how I can connect these without damaging them up to a normal plug, then let me know. I'll have to have a think about that one to see how we might do that. I've got rubbish now, and again, I've not got a bin in this room. Always think I'm lacking a bin in here, and I am. So yeah, we need to sort that out. But this Plesiphone, it actually dials quite nicely, and it's a relatively smooth dial. What I like about it, this is not a standard finger wheel. This finger wheel, the holes are actually shaped. They're a bit like yeah, what's the word I'm looking for? They're wider at the top than they are at the bottom, basically. So your finger fits in them really well. I think normal UK phones could have learnt a lot from that. But yeah, and it's quite smooth, that dial. Probably because it's all made out of plastic. So yeah. So how can we attach this? I'm wondering if I got a bit of fairly big terminal block that they will fit inside. If I could fit those inside a bit of that chocolate block, and then add a normal line cord coming out the other side. I'm wondering if that might be the way to do it. Let me know what you think. I'm not going to do it until I've weighed up the options. So let me know what you think about the options for that. Also, while I've been clearing stuff out at the radio station today, I have found a box I forgot I'd got. And this forgotten box has got 19 of the grottiest phones in it that you have ever seen in your life. Absolutely, really grotty phones. 19 of them in this box, and they are absolutely well. They're all, most of them are 746s, and quite late ones from the 80s, and the line cords on them, not the handset cords, the line cords on them have gone mega sticky and dirty, and attracted all the dirt to them and that, and I've got absolutely no idea why. But yeah, they really do need a clean up, so I might have a mega restore-a-thon of a load of telephones one of these days, fairly soon. Right, I am looking here for something to show you. Oh yeah, here's Christopher's two phones that he's got set up for CNET. If I can grab the right picture. Bear with me one moment. There we go. There we go. There's his two phones. His two N1900s that he's got set up for CNET. Interestingly, two different ones there. One with a dial 12, one with a dial 21. One on the left is probably older than the one on the right, I would guesstimate. But yeah, all set up and ready to go, and we will have CNET back up and running quite soon, hopefully. So if you have got a CNET number on my server, bear with me, I am working on it even as we speak, sort of thing. So yeah, we are getting it back up and running. Right, where are we? I'm just going through the emails and things that other stuff. Oh right, that's on YouTube. Right, I can't easily show that. Right, I was going to try and show you a video that Christopher has made and sent and stuff, but I can't easily play it, I don't think. Oh, I shall try to play it, but whether I'll be able to or not is anybody's guess. Right, bear with me. On this one for a minute while I try to get it playing. Right. So this, I hope, now if I get this right, I hope this is going to show you Christopher's YouTube video in just a moment. I'm hoping. He's got this up on his YouTube channel as well. If you look for Christopher 2000 on YouTube, you'll find this on his channel. I've got to put the headphones on a minute so I can hear what's going on, because it could be quite chaotic, this. But I'm going to try and play you this in just a second.
If YouTube sees this clip in Andy's live stream, I'm giving Andy permission, because this is a bit of a video clip I'm giving to him for help with these 2500s. What I worked out, well, I didn't know existed in these, and I thought this was a bit of a bod's job when I first saw this. But I'm giving this to Andy to help his users either get 2500s or don't dial out, like Gambo, who's one of Andy's live stream viewers, who had a problem like this and he got his phone to work. This is the method I'm going to mention in this video. Now, I never knew this, but AT&T did a conversion to these. What stopped these being interfered by reverse polarity phone lines if you're A and B leg if you're in the UK, or blue and white if you're in Australia, or green and red is reversed in America if it's for American colour code. Now, AT&T, I'll turn this up so you can read it because it's upside down in this phone. This little board here was put in by AT&T in the 1990s. This is a 1977 phone, but that's a board AT&T put in. What it is, I didn't know what it was when I first saw it. This goes in series with the incoming power feed through the switch hook of the phone line. This is a reverse polarity board. What stops the A and B leg when it's reversed of your house interfering the dial pad on one of these 2500s or 1500 sets. This is a 2500. The main big difference of 1500 and 2500. The 1500 is a 10 key pad with no star and pound, and it still touches on 1500 sets. But what this keypad's for, no, not keypad, this circuit board's for, if your green and red is reversing the phone or your landline is fully reversed in your home, this board protects the keypad from getting mucked up by the reverse play that Gambo had with his phone. What he did with his to get it to work, he had to reverse the line leads inside the phone. So I'm going to mention the way to fix it. You don't have this board. Now, wherever the red and green go inside this phone here, and I'll show this on camera. Now, I'll do it upon my screen. It's not live anyway, but that wire there is the green wire for what's line to or tip, I think they call it in America. And that red wire does here, that's the ring or red wire. If you have this phone a 2500 or 1500 and it does not dial out, just take the green wire off there, or the red wire and the red wire off there, if it's green there and red there. Just get those wires off of there and then turn them around and put them back on again. If it doesn't dial out, just on wires, and that should dial out. This one had that protection in it, but if you don't have that protection, it doesn't dial out. It's to reverse the line legs, like the green and red wire on this, and it should dial out. But you can buy RJ11 cables, and I've seen them in this state, what are made to reverse polarities on lines if your line's reversed for touch tone phones. I know they do them, I've seen them in modern age. You can get special line cords made, would have the plugs reversed on the line to reverse the polarity if your line's reversed. So if you have that problem, you can fix about undoing the phase, get yourself an RJ11 cable, cut the end off, strip the wire back, and then turn the RJ11 thing around, you know how they feel inside the phone. But the main easiest way of doing it, if you have that problem, just reverse the green wire what's on that terminal, and the red wire in the back there, like I showed before, around, and you should get dial out, and it should work. So that's how you, this is a thing AT&T did to stop that problem. So if you haven't, if you have got one, if you have a couple of these, one has this circuit board in it, works great. You could make these as well, but what they did AT&T, if you understand what I'm talking about here, they put a circuit board in the phones to help with the reverse polarity on the phones. I think why Andy's worked and Gambo's didn't, I think Andy's one must have the board in, or his house is wired correctly to make it work. But you probably can locate these off eBay, I think, pretty sure, but you could make them to make these phones work. But this is my 1977 version. What I use it for is my, put that down there, but this is the ones on that modem to get the things. I'll give Andy permission if YouTube staff see this as his copy things uncopy. I'm giving him permission to share this because I worked what that board was just now, and I'll share this to Andy so he can see it on Monday's live stream.
Oops, no microphone. Thanks, Christopher. That cleared something up about those. Because Gambo, I don't think Gambo's here tonight, is he? He had one of those or something similar, and the keypad didn't work on it. And the reason the keypad didn't work on it, like Christopher just said there in his video, was that the A and B legs of the line were wired up the wrong way round. Now normally it doesn't matter which way round they're wired up, but in the case of those it does. So if you've got one of those, if you've got one of these touchtone phones from America, and you wire it up and it doesn't work, the keypad doesn't work on it, swap the A and B, your incoming lines, swap them over, and you'll probably find it works. But Christopher's there's got that little circuit board in, which I think makes it work either way round. It looks like it's just a load of diodes on it from what I could see of it, but I've not opened mine up. Actually, mine are stashed away at the minute. My 1500s and 2500s. They're all stashed away in storage at the minute, so I can't easily get to one to have a look if it's got that little circuit board in or not. But I shall. So thanks, Christopher, for doing that for us, and yeah, it's answered a few of the questions. Right, I need to get rid of that. Looking back at the chat, everyone is up to. Dominic says he's gradually moving up his phone collection, ready for the big move to Thorn next month. And Bill says, I have an older Magneto switchboard. Where does the wires go? I've put the red wire on the top terminal and white on the bottom. It's a cord switchboard, if that helps. It doesn't help for me, Bill, because I've not got much experience with switchboards, but somebody might have, so just bear with us. Dominic says, is Christopher reversing the polarity of the neutron flow? I think he is. As long as he doesn't cross the streams, he'll be okay. Yeah. And Christopher says, on an entirely different subject, yesterday you went to the same Seymour Rail Heritage Centre, open day. So lots of old trains. Cool. Yeah, very cool. I went through Mansfield today. I found that Mansfield's got a fire service museum that I never knew it had before. I just saw a sign for it today. I lived near Mansfield all my life. I never knew it had a fire service museum till today. Yeah, really bizarre. So, yeah. Right. Christopher says he's just unpacked all his telephones after his move. So Dominic's packing them up ready to move, and Christopher's unpacking them after his move that he had a couple of weeks back. So yeah, everybody's moving at the moment. Yeah, is it the time of year or something for people to be moving? Is that what it is? Is it something to do with the time of year? People sort of all move at this sort of time. Yeah, it seems that way. I've got an ever-growing pile of telephones down here by the side of me, all waiting for bits and pieces to be done on them, including trim phones. I'm still getting no further with this 10-button trim phone that we had on the other week, and it doesn't work. And it's not the first 10-button trim phone I've had that doesn't work. These are pulse dialing trim phones. Even though they're push buttons, they are pulse dialing. And these 10-button ones, I've had a lot of trouble with them in the past. I've got 2 or 3 that don't work. I had one that did work when I used to sell telephones, and sold it to somebody who promptly brought it back a few weeks later saying it had stopped working. and I've had loads of trouble with them. I'm suspecting the mercury relay. There's two little things on the circuit board inside this, and I'm suspecting they are mercury relays, and I'm suspecting that there's either no mercury left in them or they've gone dodgy somehow. But does anybody know why 10-button trim phones stop working? If you do, get in touch and let me know, because it's a problem that I've got consistently. It's a consistent problem with 10-button trim phones. It must be, now they're getting old, that they're just a design that doesn't age well, let's say, because I'm having lots and lots and lots of trouble with them. It's not going terribly well. Sorry, I'm just dragging something. I've just found a cassette. Groundwork Polytechnic. Got no idea what's on this set. Somebody's given me a cassette and I've got no idea what's on it. I'll have to give that a play at some point. Just found it in my inbox sort of thing. Yeah, how cool is that? Yeah, like I say, we've got an ever-growing pile of telephones down here. What else have we got in the pile? Let us have a little look, shall we? Oh, a trim phone handset that I started working on the other week. That's now nice and dry, nice and solid now. But where the acetone has run, it's quite rough. So what we would need to do is sand that down now, and I've not got a bit of sandpaper here on the desk, but you can see it had the trim foam problem, the classic trim foam problem there. Broke right across there, and it's got the other classic trim foam problem of that breaking off as well. But yeah, so that is now rock hard now and ready for sanding down. So that's on my list of things to do. We've got a number of other phones, including a strangely large number of red ones, which is quite weird. Oh! I'm finding things as I'm speaking. Oh, on the wrong camera. I'm finding things as I'm speaking to you. That's better. Yeah, that I've forgotten I've got. Including American phones, but it's not a push button one, so I won't be able to do the thing that Christopher explained with it. But these have got really smooth out. These American phones, they've got really smooth running dials. If you listen to how smooth this is. Just really good. Even the really modern ones. I mean, look how modern that is with the plastic base on it. But they've still got really smooth running dials on them. I'm very impressed with them. Very impressed. Put a lid on my pot there. Yeah. So there is a point to this. I am searching for things at the moment. Here's some of the things that I'm searching for. Here's a question for you. I have got here trim dials, as you'll see, complete with tritium tube. In there, in that silver thing there, in there, I believe, is the tritium tube. Yeah? The question about these is this: if I turn them this way up, why is that one a darker colour than those? Is it something to do with the plastic that the back of the dials is made out of? With it aging in sunlight? These dials are clear plastic. That yellowy bit is, I believe, on the front of this silver bit. This is actually plated plastic, but I think it's yellow on the front. Or should be whitish on the front, or very pale grey. But why is that one yellow? I've never seen this before. Happened with dials, but it's happened with these. So if you've got any idea what's going on there, again, I'd be interested to know why that one seems to have yellowed. What you're all wanting to know is, do they glow in the dark, isn't it? The answer to that appears to be no. But we never expected them to, really, though, did we? But yeah, trim phone dials. I had a spate a few weeks ago of a few trim phones arriving. So that's why I've got trim phone bits and handsets that I'm putting back together and stuff like that. One that arrived. A little while back was this one. Rather nice blue one. Now I know what you're going to say. Because everybody says it. That's not blue, that's green. I swear to God, this is a blue trim phone. This is a blue trim phone. You can tell a green trim phone because they're brown. So green ones are brown and blue ones are green. And grey ones are kind of ivory. But this is all to do with ABS fading over the years. If you look under there, you can see the colour there that it originally was. Now I'll grant you, it was never a bright blue, but it was more blue than it is now. And this was a sort of darker blue as well. But what makes this trim phone interesting is it's got a momentary switch on the front. So that's quite an interesting one, as trim phones go. And again, you see, that is far less smooth than the American one. Yeah. Trim phone. We like trim phones. They're quite good. Quite a few have arrived recently. So yeah. We've got various boxes of bits. Now, to kind of complete the story of the trim phone, when they stopped fitting tritium dials, or later on, when they fitted tritium dials in a different way that were not sealed into the dial unit, they started fitting these as the finger wheels. So the tritium dial, when these came along, was the tritium tube was in the backing piece of the dial, so they just had these kind of translucent finger wheels, and if you hold one of these up to the light, you can see through it. Can you see through that? There's only one bit you can't see through, and that's a painted bit on the blank bit. See how you can see through that? But this one, unfortunately, isn't much cob because it's broke. But I've kept it just in case I do need to use it, because a broken one is better than none at all. So yeah, we've got a few oddball things, shall we say? Yeah. There. But yeah, trim phones and that glow at the moment this week. I'm just looking what folks are up to in the chat. I don't know if it's me, but this chat seems to be running really slow this week. Yeah, it seems to be going really slow. Dominic says, on the Fire Service Museum, have you seen a channel on YouTube called Laurie's Mechanical Marvels? He owns an old Dennis fire engine and a Ruston diesel shunter engine. Yes, I've seen Laurie's Mechanical Marvels. Makes me pig sick. Don't know how he's done it, that. Yeah. Yeah, he's very good, actually, Laurie, and that. Dominic also says, I can post a cassette recording of Blackpool if you want, Andy. That'd be good for a laugh. Yeah, because when we did the Blackpool special a few months ago, Dominic went with his audio recorder, making very much like a 1970s or 1980s radio reporter, live from the streets of Blackpool. If you haven't seen the live show from Blackpool, by the way, it is on YouTube, and you can catch it on there. Christian says, I have to get my Snowden trim phone to work again soon. I just hope it's a dial one, Christopher, not a push button one. Wesley says, what colour is it, Christopher? 'Cause I think Wesley's got a... Were you working on a red one the other week, Wesley? Two-tone red, I think they are, aren't they? Did they do an orange one, is the question. Because when Multicoloured Swap Shop was on the telly, as a thing, if you're of a certain age, you'll remember Multicoloured Swap Shop on a Saturday morning. On the desk, Noel had an orange trim phone, and I don't know if it was just before the Snowden range phones came out, the age of swap shop, but he had this orange phone, and I'm wondering if it's one that they painted especially for him, or if it was a Snowden phone, because I have a vague recollection they do an orange one, but you don't see it very often. They certainly do an orange and yellow one, but this was all orange. Wesley says yes, they did an orange one. Was it orange with a yellow handset though, Wesley? That. Because I've been trying to figure out what this thing is that Noel has on his desk. I'm going to put some of these back in this box before I go and trip over them all. But yeah, Noel had something odd on his desk. In one series of swap shop, they had a lot of grey trim phones, which are, you think are ivory, but they're grey, and they seem to have painted the handsets on them sort of very muted, dark but different colours, and I'm guessing it was so that somebody in the control room at Television Centre could identify which phone which person had picked up, so they know if Adam Ant had picked up the red phone or the green phone or the blue phone because the handset was coloured. I've also found a rather nice green 746 here. Look. It's a nice one, isn't it? Back into the box. Things that came out of this box don't want to go back into this box. Do you have that problem? I have that problem all the time. Oh, I've got it all tangled up now. Kitty cords. So, one of the big problems with trim phones is you can't get replacement handsets for them. I've got probably hundreds of 746 stroke 706 handsets spare, but I've not got a single trim phone handset, and I'm always looking for trim phone handsets, and I think this one came as a spare handset broken, and I'm repairing it because it's just so rare to have a spare trim phone handset. It's like the rarest of the rare to have a spare handset for a trim phone. Yeah, it really is. Dominic says, I think the earlier alphanumeric dial plate looks better. I agree with you, Dominic. Christopher says, my mum had an orange trim phone in the 70s. And it's in my grandma's house here. I'm going to get my hands on it. Wesley says, if you Google Roald Dahl and his writing shed, and look at the image results, you should see he had a red Snowden trim phone at one point. Did he really? I'm interested in this orange one at the moment that Christopher's on about. Because as Wesley quite rightly says, it must have been the 80s, Christopher, if it was orange. If she had an orange one in the 70s, that's weird, because that's before the Snowden range came out. However, I'm fairly sure Noel had this orange one on his desk before the Snowden range came out. So I'm just going to now see if I can find a picture. Right, the trouble is when you find pictures of multicoloured swap shop, they're often like images that were taken not when the program was actually in production, but were taken at other times. Now, for instance, and here's interesting, yeah, here's an interesting thing. Here's Debbie Harry on the set of Multicoloured Swap Shop with a blue trim phone. What's going on there? And it gets more and more complicated, and I'm looking for a photo of Noel with the orange one. Oh, there. Right, can I make that bigger? Because it's not a very big picture. Right. Let's see if I can now show you that. I can indeed. Right. There he is. There's Noel on a Saturday morning with the orange trim phone. Now what I don't know, and what I should know, but I don't, is what series of Swap Shop that was. I know it's not the first series, because the set had got all kinds of electronic things with flashing lights behind them in the first series. I know that's not the first series. I don't know what series it is, though, that one. But he's obviously got an orange phone there, and it kind of looks to me, I can't really tell what colour the cord is. It may have got a sort of creamy ivory coloured cord on it, but yeah, I don't know, and we're going to look for some more. Right, there's a good one. Right, I've got to try and get this back now. Right, hang on a minute. Where are we? Right, got it. Right. Have a look at that. Right, look at the bottom of there. Now, this is a trick, I believe, because I think this was a still taken for something called Multicoloured Saturdays, which was done years after Swap Shop. Gosh, you'll see Maggie Philbin's aged quite a bit and John Craven's aged quite a bit. There was a special called Multicoloured Saturdays done in, was it about 2010, something like that? And I think this was taken then, but they have got an orange trim phone on the desk. That's a recreation of the Swap Shop set. That's not the actual original Swap Shop set, but is there with that from Multicoloured Saturdays. Now, the real Swap Shop set had a phone. Behind Noel, and this is the real one. Okay, that is the real one, and again it's got an orange trim phone. Now it looks like it's got a keypad as well rather than a dial to me, that. But have they painted that phone? Although again, that doesn't look right. Is that Multicoloured Saturdays as well? I think it might be. Yeah, I think that is another shot of Multicoloured Saturdays, not the actual programme. Yeah, so right. So I'm determined to track this down now. How the hell did I get started on this? Yeah, who got us started on this? Because I'm now looking for this damn phone that I know he had. But I know he had a lot of other bits and pieces as well. Right. One is looking for it. I found another interesting picture, though. But it won't let me show you it. I can't find a genuine picture of him with the orange phone. I think it's perhaps only from Multicoloured Saturdays. However, I have found something else quite interesting. What to sort of to sort of bring the swap shop thing to a close. Sorry, I'm a bit disjointed with this tonight. But I found this from the Tech Ops website, which is a brilliant website. I've spent hours reading the Tech Ops website. This is the control room. This is the gallery of Multicolour Swap Shop. It's one of the galleries at Television Centre in London, and look at all the phones they've got. They are all 7460 type things, but with push buttons on, and if you look really closely, they've got the little flashing neon light in the handsets rather than having ringers, because obviously you don't want them to ring around a TV studio, and that. But that's just a brilliant picture from the Tech Ops website there. I hope they don't mind me borrowing that photo there for a minute. But those phones were everywhere around Television Centre. In fact, they had so many of those. You'll see there's 3 in that shot there. They had so many of those. If you got one of those type of phones, there's probably a fairly good chance it came from Television Centre, because they just had so many of the blooming things. So yeah, but it's not helping in my quest for the swap shop phones. Not helping at all. It's very tricky. But I know the phone on his desk did change from season to season and from year to year. So, yeah. Right, anyway, we'll leave that. So, yeah, if you know what phone was on the desk originally in Television Centre, do let me know, because I'm interested to know on that, what they had. I keep saying that at some point in the future I'm going to recreate all the famous phones I can find. So there's all the trim phones from Swap Shop. There's a pink 706 from the Emu's All Life Pink Windmill show on the kids' TV. Who remembers that one? There's of course the golden trim phone from the Golden Shop. And there must be others. There must be others as well. So if you find one, if you can think of a famous phone, of course there's the 300 series from Deal or No Deal, from the original Deal or No Deal that Noel did. I actually met the guy who claims to have supplied that phone for Deal or No Deal. It was a genuine 300 series in Deal or No Deal. The new version isn't, apparently, but the old one was an original 300 series. So yeah. But if you've got any more that you know about, any more famous phones, let us know. Get in touch with us via the website, via the contact form that you'll find on the andyshed.copress.net. If you spot a phone in a television programme, let us know, and we'll have a go at recreating it at some point in the future. Right, what's everybody up to in the chat? Wesley says, I think the BBC props department had tins of orange paint. I'm not so sure now, Wesley, because having looked at the images again, all the images I can find of the orange one are actually of Multicoloured Saturdays, or it started with Swap Shop, which were things that were done later, you know, not the actual things done at the time. So I think when they like recreated it all later, I think that's when the orange phone came in, and I'm struggling to find a picture of the orange phone from the time. Dominic says the handset cord looks grey to me. It may have been, Dominic, it may have been. That light grey. And he says, and the shade of orange doesn't match the Snowden ones, he thinks. Perhaps not. Wesley says it looks matte, not gloss. Painted, I would imagine. I don't know about that. Wesley says, I thought the Deal or No Deal phone was supplied by telephone lines. I don't think so. I think it was supplied by a guy up in the northeast, up Gateshead way. I think that's who supplied it. I'm not 100% certain, but I think. And Christopher says he sent a photo of his trim phone, but it'll probably not get here while we're streaming because it seems to hold my emails up while the streams are going on. So yeah, the swap shop mystery continues. I'm going to have to find old episodes of Swap Shop on YouTube, aren't I, and just watch them all the way through for somebody to pick a phone up and see what it is. The problem with watching old episodes of Swap Shop is there aren't many of them, because they were recorded on 1-inch videotape, and the problem with it was an episode of Swap Shop was recorded on 2 reels, because it was reel-to-reel videotape of 1-inch videotape. And what happened was they sat in the BBC's archive for quite a lot of years, gathering dust, and then I think it was Australian television came along, so Christopher's partly to blame for this, because many years later, because they were still using 1-inch videotape and you couldn't get it anymore, and so they approached the BBC and said, have you got any 1-inch videotape that you can sell us? And the BBC said, well, we haven't got any unused, but we've got some that you can wipe. And they basically gave them Swap Shop, and the reason they gave them Swap Shop is because it was a live show. There were no splicers in the videotape. Had it been anything else, there would probably have been splicers in the tape, so it wouldn't have been as good for reuse. But because it was a live, basically 3-hour show, there were no splicers in the tape at all, because they just started to the end of the tape and then put another one in and started to the end of the tape, sort of thing. So they were sold, I think it was to Australian TV, if I remember right, and they were wiped either before they went to Australia or after they'd arrived in Australia, and that's why there are so few episodes of Swap Shop in the archive. And if you watch any of these things like It Started With Swap Shop and Multicoloured Saturdays, where they show clips from the old shows, a lot of the clips are actually that they've got are actually clips that viewers made on really early home videos that they've sent in to enable those programs to be made. So, which is why the quality is not great on a lot of them. But yeah, that's what happened. Swap Shop got wiped. There are a few episodes left. There are a few episodes, but not many. And the thing is, there are a lot of fantastic performances by then fairly unknown bands that became massive later on, that got lost along with the wiping of Swap Shop. Right. Dominic says, ironically, many snippets of missing Doctor Who episodes were saved by the Australian censors leaving stuff on the cutting room floor. That's interesting. Australia censored Doctor Who. Yeah. I mean, Doctor Who's a thing on its own. I mean, the missing presumed wiped project and that is quite interesting. You can't believe, now we have so many repeats on TV, you can't believe the stuff they used to junk because they went, oh well, it's been on once, we'll never put it out again, it's been shown once. Can you imagine them doing that now? Can you imagine them doing it now? The only way now that you'll lose a programme is with Dave wearing it out. You know, there are episodes of QI that must have been on like 100 times now on Dave. It's just crackers. But can you imagine them making programmes now and wiping them? I don't think they wipe anything now. I don't think they wipe anything at all. It makes you wonder where the hell they put it, but I don't even know if they're recorded onto any physical media anymore. I suspect they're probably not. I've kind of lost touch with what they use now. They used to use these big reel-to-reel tapes. Then they went on to cassette formats. Things like Betacam, Betacam SP and stuff like that. Particularly for in the field use and that. Still use reel-to-reel in big studios and things. Then they went to Digibeta, which is basically a tape very similar to your old Betamax videotapes, but a digital version with a higher grade of actual tape inside the cassette. And Digibeta, and I think that was about the last tape-based format. And now I have a horrible feeling it's probably all computers and hard drives and stuff like that. That stuff is recorded on. It is a bit of a worry that one day they'll not be able to play stuff back, because can you imagine if they record something in a digital format as like a .avi file or something like that, and 20 or 30 years down the line, modern computers haven't got the right codecs available to play back that particular type of video file. I can imagine that happening. I can imagine that happening. And archiving TV programs is a real nightmare, knowing what is the best medium to archive stuff on. They thought for a while it would be laser discs, until they found that laser discs rot. They get this disc rot, as do some CDs, where the silvering drops off the disc basically. Yeah, there's all kinds of problems with archiving stuff, and basically they do sort of say, well, best way of archiving stuff is to transfer it to film. Even in this day and age, transfer it to film. But yeah, stuff gets lost all the time, and a lot of it you don't hear about. because it does just end up in bins and stuff. I've walked through TV studios and found skips in the fire lane with videotapes in, and very rare have I ever had a chance to get in the skip and fish the videotapes out. uh, but it does happen. It does happen. Yeah, it does. I remember going into a room at Elstree Film and Television. It was two porta cabins stacked on top of one another that were just floor to ceiling, all around the walls, racking with videotapes on, and it was like half a season of Big Brother. I wonder what happened to all that. Wonder if they kept all that. If they did, where do they keep it? Where do they store it? Because the storage of all that must cost a fortune. But yeah. Dominic says, apparently there's a project to build an archive in Antarctica storing stuff on film. Yeah, I've heard about it. In fact, I've seen it. Yeah, it's a very strange underground place. Looks for all the world, the entrance to it looks for all the world like a set or a location of something like 70s Doctor Who or Blake 7, because it's just this rocky outcrop in the ground and this very modernistic doorway and sort of going down into the earth, and it's something to do with this underground vault stays at the same temperature all the time, and the temperature is just right and the humidity levels are just right for archiving stuff. Yeah, it's very, very strange. It's a real black art. If you think you can record something onto a memory card in your phone, or if you've still got a video machine onto a videotape and stick it on your shelf, and you think it's still going to be there in 20 or 30 years time, think again, because it won't be. It will not be. I've got recordable CDs now that don't play, that I put photographs on. And we thought, oh well, you're going to burn all your stuff to these new fangled recordable CDs, all your photos and that now don't play. I've got loads of them. They're here. Some of these were run in 2016. It's less than 10 years ago, and they don't play now. Have I got a Duff one that I can show you where the Duffness is obvious on it? That one I think is starting to go. Now if I try and polish this CD, you might not be able to see this on camera, but can you see this CD around the edges? A couple of millimetres around the edges is a lighter colour. and that, where it's a lighter colour, just round the edges, round here, that's where it started to fall apart. That one, if you look there where my finger is, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a mark where a bit of the silvering has dropped off the CD. Here's a bad example. This is a CD that's been left in daylight. And you'll be able to see this one, I'm sure. Can you see the black edge on that? Well, what's happened there is that CD has had another one, like this one for instance, covering it up in a pile of CDs, but there's just been that edge sticking out. And where that edge has been sticking out, because this is a recordable CD, over the years, can you see it's gone black, and this one's done the same, look. So if you've got any recordable CDs, you must keep them in the dark. You must keep them in the dark, because this is like video 10 of 10 it says on it, and I bet this won't play. I am going to try it though. But yeah, it's powering up now, that CD. It's trying to load. But it's not doing it, it's just whirring backwards and forwards. But it's not loading. And that is classic what happens. The CDs. You know, that is your a recordable CD. If you want to keep something for years and years and years to come, my suggestion would be to keep it on a hard disk, or keep it on your computer on a hard drive, make regular backups of it, and just when you get a new computer, just keep transferring it to your new hard drive and your new computer. Keep transferring the file. Don't like re-record it. Don't like, because you'll lose data if you keep re-recording it. You know. But just keep moving the file from computer to computer to computer as the years go by, and that's the only way really you can do it. With massive archives, of course, that's very difficult to do, and it's a source of constant concern to people like the BBC who've got massive sound and video archives, how they actually archive their stuff. It's really not easy. Dominic says that place in the Antarctic is actually in the Arctic, not the Antarctic. It's called Arctic World Archive. Yeah, strange. Yeah, but and of course YouTube. Well, where is YouTube? That's what I'd love to know. You know, they reckon there's like, what is it? So many hours of video uploaded to YouTube every minute of the day. Well, where the hell are all those servers that must store all that? because videos I put on YouTube years and years and years ago, in the very early days of YouTube, are still there. You know, and where is the server? That's what I want to know. I'm looking for an early video now. Videos. Oldest. Yeah, the first video I put up on YouTube, right, this is going to make you feel old, was 17 years ago. Yeah, 17 years ago. Alright, it was 1 minute 21 seconds long, and it's now had 17,000 views after 17 years. And there's some people who get 17,000 views in that first half hour of video, but it's taken this video 17 years. Alright. But my next one I put up 16 years ago, and it still only had 1.1 thousand views, 1,100 views. Yeah, but that's the very, very early days of YouTube for you. And go back on the site, go back on youtube.com/Andy Shed, or youtube.com/@Andy Shed/videos, and you will see some of the videos from the very, very early days. And where he does the first Andy Shed Live come in. Series 1, Episode 2. Series 1, Episode 7. Did I not record them in the early days? 1 and 2. Andy Shed Live, Series 1, Episode 2. Yeah, that's 7 years ago. Crikey. Shall we have a look? From 7 years ago. Right. Hang on. Right, this is the very early days. How on earth did I get this up? Right, hang on. Doopy doopy doo. Right. So this is the very, very early days of Andy Shed Live. This is episode 2. I can't find episode 1. Maybe I didn't record episode 1. But this is episode 2. If I can play it.
Hello there and welcome to the second episode of Andy Shed Live, coming to you direct this Sunday evening. How are you? Have you had a good week, everybody? Has it been a fun week for you? I hope it has. Right, we've had quite a few views on the video that we put up last weekend, and quite a few views on some of the other videos as well this week, including people saying, you know, you did that dial strip down on that phone last week. They said, could you do a full strip down on the telephone dial at some point? The answer to that one is yes, we will do a full strip down at some point, but we won't do it in a live episode, and I'll tell you for why.
That's amazing, isn't it? From all those years ago. It's only 7 years ago, though, actually. But crikey, how things have changed in 7 years. I mean, we're in widescreen now for a start, but yeah, crikey. I had even less hair then than I've got now. What happened there? Yeah, that's 7 years ago. Good God. Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. There you go. Yeah. That's it from 7 years ago. Right, I think that probably almost wraps it up for one day. I'm just doing the silly things now. Dominic says, is your video on making charcoal still your most popular? It is, Dominic. I've got no idea how popular it is these days. I could have a look, couldn't I? Yeah, the one, yeah, it was made 8 years ago. It's called How to Make Charcoal in a Homemade Retort. Catchy title, isn't it? Catchy title. Yeah, never let it be said we don't have catchy titles. And it's now got 128,000 views. Closely followed, well, not closely at all actually followed, but How to Restore ABS Plastic, an alternative to the retro bright process, from 7 years ago, so a year later, that's got 36,000 views. And weirdly, a quick 1 minute 10-second video I made of a mate of mine driving a diesel road roller down the road that I just took on my phone, that I made 14 years ago. Strangely, that's got 26,000 views. Why has that got 26,000 views? I will never, ever, ever know why that's got 26,000 views. But yeah, it's very strange. But if you want to go back through the channel and look at some of these old videos, some of them are absolutely hilarious. They really, really are. I mean, I've got a stationary engineer that I'm about to repaint because I'm thinking the paintwork on it's looking a bit tired. I now know why the paintwork on it is tired, because there's a video of it here just after I'd painted it, and it apparently 16 years ago. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, all sorts of strange things. The Lost Railways of Plesley, amongst other things. Wiring and Ericaphone. Yeah, oh yeah, there's all sorts. See, if you want to have a look at it, like I say, go to www.youtube.com/the Andy Shed /videos, and they all come up in it, and you should be able to click on a thing that says order run by oldest, and it's hilarious. Yes, how far we've come. yeah, there's like Sheffield Steam Rally from 2012 and all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, rewiring and converting old Ericsson telephones, and how to make a telephone line cord, intercom phones, restoring an Erica phone, how to wire a 500 series telephone, the compact telephone, Lost Railways, Polterton and Sutton Station. That's quite a good one, quite like that one. How to use library when library first started as a thing, July 2019. My God. Yeah. And one of my favourite thumbnails for a video is floods on the Chesterfield Canal. If you want to watch that one, I just love the thumbnail on that because it's so wintry and Christmassy looking. You could almost use that thumbnail as a Christmas card. It's it's just really, really good. Yeah, and then of course we've got all the radio station stuff. And I really do need to get down to the radio station and do some more, film a bit more down there. And I need to do more stuff down there, basically, and give you an update on what's happening. Right, that is about it for today. Dominic says, I think there's fewer phones in the background. Probably in the early days there were, yeah. Yeah, there were probably fewer in the background in the early days. Some things are still the same, other things have changed. A lot of the stuff in the background is different. There's a filing cabinet here now. There used to be a desk here with another computer on it that has now gone to the radio station at Pleasant, but it's still around. There's a little table here. This is actually a vintage sewing machine under this table thing here. This wasn't here back then. I think, was this little two-door filing cabinet with the 3D printer on, was that here back then in the early days? I think that probably was, I'm not sure though. Yeah. But yeah, those were the days, you know, those were the days. Yeah, if you want to sort of go down the rabbit hole, go and look at some of the archive stuff, because of course it does help the channel out every time you view it. So yeah, please feel free to go back and view some of the archive stuff. Just before we go, an update on what's happening with Patreon. We are finishing Patreon. Patrons, your final payments will now have probably gone out of your bank account, your final pounds or whatever they are, and we will be shutting down our Patreon account. Well, it takes a while to do it, but it should be shut down in the next couple of weeks or so. So thanks to everybody for being a patron. I will tell you how you can continue to support the show. Hopefully next week. Hopefully we'll have it all set up and sorted out for next week. So I will try and tell you then how you can continue to support the show, and it's going to be a lot simpler than having to sign up to Patreon as well. But for now, basically, thank you very much for watching once again. It's about 8:10. It's time for me to go and have my pizza, if Thor's not eaten it already, and I will be back here with you again around about the same time, same place. Remember the new time, 6:30 next Sunday afternoon stroke evening, because it feels like the middle of the night now. It's dark outside, but yeah, thanks for being there once again. I'll just check the chat. Christopher says, I've got over 4,000 videos on YouTube. Good grief. I've got nowhere near that many. Yeah. Check out Christopher 2000's YouTube channel as well then, because he's got a lot more than me apparently. So, yeah. So until next week, have a fantastic week ahead, and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now, everybody. Bye. This is where I have to wait for an incredibly long time because the thing doesn't fade out fast enough. Bye.